Hey, what's up everyone? Morey Croson here, and today we're going to be going over how to more effectively use your hips when we're sprinting, and we'll start the video right now. This is the newest edition of the Performance Lab. Reach your individual goals. You don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video. Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become. All right, so this is going to be a good topic just because I think that better understanding how to utilize your hips is going to be a critical thing when it comes to improving your speed. I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. I'm going in with the mentality of trying to do, like less is more, but to be 100% quite frank with you, there's going to be some complexity here, right? We're going to get into some very specific parts of how your pelvis is going to be moving in order to help you in improving your speed. And so it's going to be a little bit in depth. Hopefully you can stay with me. But again, I'm going in with the mentality to try to make it as simple as possible. So we're going to go ahead and hop right into the video here. So we're going to look at Noah Lyles here on the left and, really his running form, and then on the right we have the running gait. I'm actually going to change the color here so you guys can see this a little better. Boom, like the yellow looks a little better. But what we're seeing is with the gait, how the pelvis is rotating. Obviously, when we're sprinting, we have a bit of a different movement pattern that's happening. When you do this, you're going to be all the way coming back. Okay, and then also one, right foot obviously in front. Again, when we're sprinting, we're going to have a lot more range than this. This is a gait position, but we're looking at the pelvis. We want to be able to see how can we improve our ability to utilize the hips. And in order to better utilize the hips, we got to be able to understand what is happening within the pelvis. And when we see is when, let's say, the left leg is coming forward, we want to be able to get the pelvis to not only be switching in terms of posteriorly tilted position, right? Because of the front of the pelvis. I know you can't see it great from this angle, but it's going to be slightly more downward, right? And then this is going to be slightly more upward because that foot is back behind, okay? And then it's going to rotate around, okay? We're rotating around this pelvis here as it's coming forward. Okay, so as that's happening, now we're getting into more of a posterior tilt. So as we get into hip flexion, our pelvis posteriorly tilts. Okay, so we're when the foot's back behind, we're going to be in that anterior position. As we're going and switching, we're going into the posterior tilt position. And when that's happening, we can also see the hip going around. And this ended up actually coming to play or coming to my mind because in the quarterback mechanics, I've been talking a lot about getting your pinky around and getting your hand around in the right position to then be able to release. And I thought this same concept actually applies with the rotation ability of the pelvis, because what I see is a lot of guys have more of an issue of when this foot is coming around or when the pelvis is coming around and the entire leg is coming around, they're not getting into this position. We're seeing guys that are getting with their knee a little bit more to the outside here, which then makes it so when this foot hits the ground, they're almost going more across the body at foot contact rather than being able to swing and bring that foot to land right underneath the body. So the information that we want to be able to understand is how can we better utilize the hips and the pelvis when we're running and really maximize that range. Okay, so as we are coming through with our leg, we have to understand the amount of rotation that has to be generated in the pelvis. So you can see right here, his foot's about to strike the ground. This is going to be neutral. Okay, so we're going to look to see as this one, the right foot is striking the ground, boom, left one is coming through. Okay, so that's going to be right at the same spot here. So see how this is neutral and this was going to be neutral. So now we're going to go forward. Now we can see that left leg is starting to come out in front, just like this. So we can see how that left leg ends up coming out in front. So as that's happening, we want to be able to get the knee to be inside of the outside part of the pelvis. And that makes it so now we have the ability to really maximize the anterior tilt or the extension action within the leg. So he's pulling back with his pelvis and with his hips. Sorry, I'm fast forwarding this so then we could switch. Okay, so you can see he's going here. I don't know if this actually looks like, okay. Yeah, so he's pulling back with that left leg and see how he's, when the hip is pulling back, we're going to be going from more of like an internally rotated position. Okay, so our pelvis is facing in to now pulling into external rotation. So our hip is going back as that leg is getting pulled back and through. Okay, so that is making it so now we're utilizing the hamstrings, those external rotators, and those external rotators are critical when it comes to stabilizing the pelvis, right, as our foot is striking the ground. Now, we absorb, and as we absorb, it really takes a lot of those stability type muscles in order to better be able to stabilize, and then we get right back into internal rotation, because now we're getting into this position as that foot is coming off the ground, because now we're coming back forward. Right, so we get to external rotation, so we pull all the way through. We're in this position with our pelvis where it's kind of facing more to this side. And then when we pull all the way, so that ends up getting all the way back into this position. So we go through full external rotation. It'll actually go more than what we would be seeing here. So now the right side is going to be all the way shifted out. We're going to also have a bit of a lateral shift going on as well. All right, so as that left leg is going back, our pelvis is going to also have to shift down, right? It's going to have to turn out, and it's going to have to rotate up. So this part of it's going to be kind of going this way. This part's going to be coming upwards, okay? And then once we go there, now we have to rapidly be able to switch back, right? So then this one is going to go and drop down a little bit, okay? This one's then going to go into external rotation. Okay, so it's going to turn all the way back around. And then this one is also going to anterior tilt as we go and swing through, right? So we get the max range on both of those. So we have to be able to understand that in order to be able to fully utilize the hips, we have to get full range of motion within the pelvis on both ends of the spectrum here. Okay, and so there's a lot of great ways to be able to train that motion, but we do want to be able to understand that this is the place that we need to get to within the pelvis in general. So we want to be able to, utilize. I've done different videos about using like a step-up box to be able to maximize the ranges here for both. We could do different types of like lunging patterns and different types of like hip flexors stretches. There's even like the Thomas stretch. If you don't know that, I would probably make a video about that as well to be able to just help you improve that range. Because part of the thing with sprinting, and I have to explain this to people all the time, is like we have to be able to get to the range, right? If you can't even achieve the range that you need within the hip, within the ankle, within the arms, then you're not going to be able to run as fast as the people that are, right? Just point blank simple. These guys are able to get to phenomenal ranges, whether they're stiff normally or they're not stiff or they have flexibility, blah, 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 whatever. Doesn't matter. When they're sprinting, they're able to get the maximum ranges within the pelvis, within the ankle. Maybe not the max range for the joint, but the necessary ranges in order to achieve the highest level of sprinting. And you have to be able to get that full stretch shortening cycle. So if you're not getting to the optimal ranges within those joints, what you're doing is you're limiting your ability to run as fast as possible. And so that's what I'm trying to give you a little bit more information about, is what are the ranges that you need to get to. And it starts with the pelvis. Okay, your muscles are not going to move with the bones. Okay, the bones are really what make the muscles move. And so when we can look at it from the deepest perspective, right, at those bones and really see like an x-ray what is happening there, I think that gives more clarity into the muscular action that needs to be achieved in order to get the results that you're looking for. So as always, guys, if you like the information, click that thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, comments, or recommendations, you can leave those down below. I know I got a little bit passionate there as I was talking, as I was explaining. I can't help it. I just love sprinting mechanics. I love being able to help you guys in running faster, being able to understand it more. So I apologize for kind of getting a little bit loud there, but at the end of the day, I can't 100% apologize for my absolute passion in sprinting mechanics and again, helping people in improving and understanding what it takes to be able to actually run faster. So if you're watching this video again and you're still holding on here, like, subscribe, check out some of the things we have in the description in terms of some programs. I really think those will help you in being able to better understand how you can become faster and how you can really maximize your overall speed in general. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.